the mysterious, the curious, the blurriest. From the beginning of time, man has wondered about mysteries. Are they fiction, or are they fact? The Eberling Enigma. Submitted for your examination, Eberling. A name synonymous with innovation. A name on which fortunes were made through startling, prolific inventions. A name known also to disappear. Thomas Eberling was at the height of his brilliant career, and some said working on his most ingenious invention yet, when he suddenly disappeared from public life forever, more than 150 years ago. But what happened to Thomas? Was he the victim of foul play by a jealous rival? Or had he stumbled upon something so powerful that it had to be kept hidden? Thomas's genius was inherited by the latest Eberling, Max Eberling, a virtual rock star in the up-and-coming scientific community. Unfortunately, genius was not the only thing these two men had in common. So too were their penchants for disappearing. But why did he vanish too? Max was last seen 10 years ago at this infamous Einstein Awards banquet, where hundreds of the world's top minds were saved when a fire alarm cleared the room just moments before the ceiling collapsed. But when the ceiling collapsed, Max, like a rock star, had left the building. How could a man, even a genius such as Max, have predicted such an event? Yet this footage clearly suggests that Max Eberling did just that. Why would a man admired by all and a hero to many walk away from his newfound fame? Surely the key to this mystery is more than the simple wish to avoid the notorious scientific paparazzi. What are the secrets being held by the Eberling estate? Did the Eberling genius come with a price? The price of a curse? The world may never know, but that won't stop us from wondering whatever became of this modern mystery.
What I really want to know, Dad, is why you're wearing sunglasses everywhere except where you need them most.
I thought I heard your father's voice.
I don't think so. You're imagining your ghosts again.
No, I'm certain I heard him, Anna. As clear as if he were standing right here. Have you felt a shiver coming over you?
Mum, why did Dad wear sunglasses all the time?
Well, why don't you just ask him? He's probably in your bathroom. Sometimes he likes to go...
No, Mum. What you were hearing was that mystery show. I was watching it again.
This is how you want to spend your birthday.
No, listen. I think I found something interesting this time. You see, it's the sunglasses.
I think you're going to find this much more interesting.
What's this?
I found it a few weeks ago in an old shoebox.
For my daughter Anna, on her 16th birthday. Has this been hidden in the house all this time?
Either that or one of the ghosts left it.
What is it? What does this mean?
Maybe it's a way to contact your father on the other side.
Don't you see? Maybe it means he's still alive. I know it's been 10 years, but I always had the feeling...
If he was still alive, would I be seeing his ghost everywhere? Would I?
No, but maybe he's stuck or trapped somewhere or held captive by someone.
Maybe he's helping Tintin find Professor Calculus. Oh.
Seriously, Mum? You really don't know anything about his work?
Never you mind, never you mind. It's best left alone for your own good. And so on and so on. That is what Max always said to me, and that is what I say to you, my sweet. Now, I ordered in some nice birthday cake, and I suddenly feel a nasty draft coming from somewhere. Whew. Are you coming down?
But what if these things are clues that will help me find him?
It's best left alone.
I know my father wanted me to have this for a reason. And I intend to find out what it is. I should take Mom's boots. She'll probably ask for them later. I once posted a video of me playing Seven Nation Army. Nobody watched it, thank God. I don't know why I even need a mirror. I almost never get to go out. Bunsen Bunny! I always played emergency vet with him and Father. Dad had a thing for rabbits in distress, I guess. Chemistry notes. Mum won't let me do any of the lab experiments. She says somebody might blow something up. I've read all the books on it. Meant to recycle that hanger. Ugh, stuff that looks gross on me. I wasn't made for this century. We always have to swap batteries in this house. No point in knowing the time. Every day here's the same. No point in knowing the time. Every day here's the same. Always good to have a power source. The glass is really dark, but I think there might be something in the center. A bent-up old metal hanger. Mom's warm boots. They don't fit my misshapen feet. At least we've got plumbing. That's the only improvement they've done in 150 years. The old family cuckoo clock. Still works perfectly. As long as someone remembers to wind it. The storm knocked out our phones. Mum must have locked the door. Odd. My house keys are missing. I'll bet Mum knows where they are. I'm not vacuuming on my birthday. The only time you took off your sunglasses, and the sun was in your eyes. The thermostat's in here. The fireplace must be crazy hot now. I don't like putting it up that high. It's dangerous. The fireplace should be low now. Mum will be unhappy. The fireplace is back to normal. Just bits and bobs. And a light bulb. Sigh. No one's going to fix this except me. It's an old mechanical diorama. My mother always said it was a family heirloom too delicate for kids to play with. But now I wonder if it has something to do with my father's disappearance. I need to figure out what it does, once and for all. It looks like a tiny speaker. There was probably something attached to amplify sound at one time. This diorama never worked before, but I'll use my birthday wish. I know what they are. Socks. My party balloons. Might come in handy. I'll keep them in mind. Cards from Mother and some relatives. My friends don't send cards. They'd never get past my mother. Mum? I see the fuse blew in the gallery again.
Maybe rats chewed the wires, but I didn't want to call the electricians. They might fall off a ladder or burn the house down. Better off left alone.
But isn't it good to look at all the family portraits in there once in a while?
Best stay out of there. I only use it for storage now. You might trip on something and kill yourself.
People don't kill themselves tripping on things.
That's where you're wrong, Anna. It happens all the time.
Maybe those portraits can give me some clues that will help me. What do you and Dad's ghost talk about?
I tell him how you're doing.
It's okay, Mum. I'm glad.
He's very proud of you.
What about visiting your family? Don't you miss all those society parties?
Your father was always the most interesting person in the room. Not really.
Why did you close the shutters behind you?
Lightning might break the window.
Are you still getting chills?
I always feel a draft when ghosts are active in the house. I'm too cold to sleep.
We need a generator. We can't let every storm knock out our electricity.
Oh, and leave cans of explosive fuel lying around in storage?
Why do we keep blowing fuses?
Spirits disrupt the flow of energy.
I feel like something is drawing power that we don't know about. Did you ever think of selling this old house?
Never. Where would all the ancestors live?
Where did Father do his experiments?
He went to the Institute. He locked himself in the study.
But when he was here, did he have a lab? Was there some reason why you locked the front door and took my house keys?
I'm sorry, Anna, but I was afraid you'd go out into the storm and get hit by lightning.
What are the odds of that?
0, as long as you stay in the house.
Do you know how to make the diorama work?
Stay away from it, Anna. They use it to get into the house.
It's just the old place creaking, Mum.
If it were just the house settling, then why are my feet cold? So cold. The house is not settling. It's possessed.
Cold feet. That's my mother. If she were in a sauna, and the sauna was in the Sahara, and the Sahara was in full summer, what would she have? Cold feet. Still, she might be right about that diorama being connected to my ancestors. Somehow. Did Dad ever get the diorama to work?
Yes. Long ago. But he said it had a ghost. Pepper's ghost.
What's that old diorama do, Mum?
It's an automaton built by your great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas Eberling. I've never seen it work, Anna, but don't touch it. Your father always said it was haunted by Pepper's ghost.
Who was Pepper?
I think he was an inventor friend of Thomas's. But it's not only Pepper's ghost. It's the ghost of all your ancestors.
Do you know why Thomas built the diorama?
Your father never said. But he always smiled when he looked at it, like it was some sort of private joke. And no one was allowed to touch it.
Tell me again, who built the diorama?
Oh, you know, darling, that crazy old Thomas, your great-great-great-grandfather.
Do you have a theory about this glass vial?
No, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. You think just like him.
What do you think really happened to Dad?
Ask his ghost.
Why did he always wear sunglasses?
He said he injured his eyes in a lab experiment. I never believed him.
How come I never got a pet for my birthday?
I thought the bird in your cuckoo clock was your pet. Anyway, animals don't like ghosts.
Now that I'm 16, how about a drink?
Heavens no, too dangerous.
How much trouble can I get into here? Can we go somewhere to celebrate?
And drive on these roads in a storm?
Let me outside to see the storm.
I can't. You know the rules. We batten down the hatches in a storm.
It's on medium heat. It's too risky to go in. Here's a flashlight and a 15-amp fuse. It's too dark. It looks stale. Mother doesn't like lit candles. They lead to house fires. The thermostat's in here. The fireplace must be crazy hot now. The fireplace should be low now. Mum will be unhappy. Hey! Are you still getting chills?
I always feel a draft when ghosts are active in the house. I'm too cold to sleep.
It's burning low. I should give him back to her. I should give him back to her. Here, keep your feet warm.
Oh, thank you. I thought I'd lost them. I suppose I can fix the fireplace myself now.
Something's under the cushion. My housekeeper.
How does this work? I think I did it.
Okay, I'm going outside. I should bring it back to the study. I wasn't trying to escape, I was just cleaning windows. I've practiced practically lived my whole life in that room. The lightning flashed on something shiny in the fountain. 3 gold coins. Okay, that's weird. They weren't here before, and we haven't had visitors in ages. These symbols on the fountain look just like the ones carved on the box containing the glass vial. I thought they looked familiar. Pretty obvious what that is. There's nothing alive in there. It's too risky to go in. I took everything I need. Done. I need to put in a new fuse, 20 amps or less. Somebody needs to tear out all the wiring in this house and start from scratch. Please don't blow up in my face. Great, I won't need the flashlight anymore. Max Eberling. 1968 to... So, this is my father, Max. I don't remember much about him, really. I was only 6 the last time I saw him. Again, scientist. And, again, nobody seemed to know what he was working on. I don't know what it is with this family and mystery projects. Victor Eberling. 1936 to 1998. The story on Conrad's son Victor is that he ruffled the family feathers when he threw away a promising career as a surgeon for a life at sea. Officially, he crossed the world as captain of trading vessels of questionable origins while documenting the diffusion of infectious diseases. Which sounds like the Eberling way of saying he was a smuggler. If there was ever any proof one way or the other, it was lost at sea when his ship and everyone on it went down in a heavy storm. Was it the Eberling family curse? Conrad Eberling, 1878 to 1941. Conrad showed up after Edgar's death. Some people wondered if he was really Edgar's son, but he had the Eberling inventor gene sure enough. He designed and piloted early airships, which is pretty cool. But the big thing he was working on was the first aerial map of the whole planet. It was supposedly the most detailed map ever made, but I've never seen it. No one has. It was either lost or stolen, or else it never really existed. Conrad died in an airship accident in World War II. Edgar Eberling, 1847 to 1892. Edgar was a scientist like Thomas, but according to Mom, he wasn't as brilliant. He spent most of his life traveling the world, probably to get away from the expectations of his famous father. He did a good job of it too, because no one even knew where he was for years. Then all of a sudden he came back and started giving public lectures warning about the dangers of gas lighting, which is odd because he died in a theater fire. He also had a reputation as a ladies' man but never married. How's that for colorful? My favorite ancestor is Thomas Eberling, my great-great-great-grandfather. He was also a pretty great scientist and inventor. Something about this portrait looks new. Avoid that. That was my best memory as a kid, but now all I can think is, were you already planning to leave us? This clock has never worked. I think it's someone's idea of a joke. Unreliable clocks annoy me. It's a Swiss thing. Unreliable clocks annoy me. It's a Swiss. Didn't we have a ladder here? What happened to it? Leave it. I never liked it. Now, nothing's more important than working late with you guys. I love work so much. I put my famous career above everything else. Success! I vaguely remember my father fiddling with this before he went away. It might have some connection to the glass vial. Or not. That lampshade's getting burned by the bulb. vaguely remember my father fiddling with this before he went away. It might have some connection to the glass vial. Or not. I'm pretty sure audio comes out here, but it needs something to boost the volume. So, it's my job to maintain the lights in the house. Perfect fit. I need to fix this old thing. I need to boost the volume. It fits perfectly! Looks like negative and positive wires.
Understanding of what I have discovered, this must be held in absolute secrecy. Should you have any doubts along the way, Darwin will assist you. I congratulate you on discovering the secret of Pepper's ghost. My name is Thomas Evelyn, and I designed this automaton to test your intellect and strength of purpose. But this is only the first test. My years of private research have resulted in a momentous discovery. I have harnessed a power which may prove to be of immense benefit to mankind, but which also holds the potential for unprecedented destruction. After witnessing this destruction in my own son Edgar, I had determined that mankind was not yet ready to possess it. For this reason, I built a secure laboratory to continue my work in secrecy. However, as dangerous as this power can be, I could not in good conscience permit its virtues to be lost to humanity. It became necessary for me to make provisions for my eventual demise. The secure area can only be accessed from my study. To gain entry, you will need to count the specific hours of the day, beginning with the 0 hour. And the code to those hours is in this book. Remember this book, and the starting point, the 0 hour. A word of warning. You are about to embark on a perilous journey. Until you have come to a full understanding of what I have discovered, this must be held in absolute secrecy. Should you have any doubts along the way, Darwin will assist you.
A really dusty, battered old book called Liber Abaci. My great ×3 grandfather. Something's odd about that painting. Purple checked coat, blue striped bird. I don't think so. Green book with circles, red rose. Strange details. Gold coins with strange symbols. They don't look like they were made by a machine. Didn't we have a ladder here? What happened to it? Yeah, I'll set it up. There's no search function in a library. If I want to find something, where do I even start? Fibonacci time with hours 0 and 1. The time has just begun. When present is added to past, the future hour is cast. Just as adding the previous two will get to the next in the queue. Okay, the pendulum's working now. The shelves in the corner are moving. Something tells me those stairs don't lead to a wine cellar. Thomas said it would take me on a perilous journey. Should I risk it? Or should I get a blanket and go sit with my mother? I say risk it. This spins and generates electricity. Let's figure this out. Water boils in the tank and creates steam. Steam turns the generator in front. Coal drops down this chute right into the boiler. I can't pry open the door. It looks like this chain broke off from the handle above the coal feeder. It must release coal. I really want to move the handle, but I can't reach it. Yes, that'll work. It worked! I hear lights switching on in the distance. There must be other rooms down there. I'm a little scared to go through. Oh, wow! This is probably an air duct. Just old invoices and warranties. This has been under my house my whole life? Machinery from the age of steam. This seems too big to be a lab journal. And all the pages are blank, but it has a bookmark. It could be my father's handwriting on the cover. Perils of Man. There's that word peril again. Why not just danger? I'm pretty sure my father didn't abandon us just to write a novel. There must be more to this. There, it's on. A sturdy little crucible. Much of the equipment here has layers of dust, but not these tongs. A mallet! Science's first precision instrument. All right, off.
January 27, 1863. On cold days such as these, I am reminded of that tragic day on the glacier and my dear Elsie. And yet, My spirits are lifted because I have finally understood that the strange power derived from the Bavarian crystal is far more than the simple magnetism as I had assumed. If these latest observations are corroborated, I can only conclude that I am dealing with a phenomenon that has never been previously documented. If this is so, then perhaps Elsie's death will not have been in vain.
This is from Thomas Eberling. But who is Elsie? It looks like an unfinished game. Cool. A robotic chess player. Causality Azimuth. Huh. Thomas said he discovered something with the potential for unprecedented destruction. Could this be it?
May 9th, 1874. Working from my father's specimens, I have determined conclusively that the onyx and amethyst crystals are most effective with the Risk Atlas. However, the topaz crystals are unique in their ability to indefinitely trap light. I have yet to discover what triggers these recordings. I cannot bring myself to destroy the original topaz, though I have placed it in a lead box and removed it from the lab. In weaker moments, its very proximity endangers my reason and good sense.
A big spring that got unwound. A small wooden tail. The right leg of a robot bird. It's a small vacuum tube filled with crushed crystal. One metal bird leg, the left one. It's permanently rusted shut. Woodworking tools.
March 3rd, 1875. A breakthrough. My father dedicated his life to the study of the Bavarian onyx, amethyst, and topaz. But it is I who have uncovered their true potential with the tantalite crystals. The power that I have unlocked will change the way men see the world, if not the world itself.
Tantalizing.
Most assuredly, it sets us on a path that may one day lead to an end of all calamity and peril. And yet, I cannot shake a dreadful feeling, for I already know that with this new power comes a vile and rapacious capacity for...
Rapacious capacity for what, I wonder? I'll never know. Can't even guess what this was used for. This is probably an air duct. No one for miles. When we die, no one will find our bodies for months. I know I'm supposed to be nervous around storms, but I can't help being fascinated by them at the same time.
Anna? Answer me!
I should go inside soon. for a key. They fit perfectly, ready to melt. Okay, let me use these tongs to hold it. Okay, we are ready to melt the gold. I have to do this slowly and carefully. Done! Now let's pour out the molten gold before it cools. Perfect! I'll use the tongs again and pour it in. Just give it a bit to cool down and I think I've done it. That's it! I've got a gold key! He fits. I'll wind it up. Nothing. It looks like he's missing some parts. Maybe I just need to put him back together. That's how you do it. Phew! Success! Won't fit. Sweet! Good. Nice!
Good morning, Thomas.
Sorry, Darwin, I'm not Thomas.
Well then, good morning, not Thomas. Would you like to put on your risk atlas?
Thomas is my great-great-great-grandfather. I'm Anna. Oh, I'm sorry. What's a risk atlas?
Birds opening, not Thomas.
Birds opening? How can I find out what that is?
Activating birds opening sequence. Birds opening, not Thomas.
Darwin mentioned birds opening. Darwin mentioned birds opening. A book on chess. This might have something. Birds opening. White pawn to f4. Let me reset the board here. White pawn to f4.
Risk Atlas.
A hidden drawer just clicked open. I hope it's not full of spiders. Let's see. Some bulky sunglasses. And another one of those mazers. Darwin?
Edgar. Edgar, is that you?
My name is Anna, Darwin.
My name is Thomas Eberling. Why do you think I'm Darwin?
Because you're talking through him.
Darwin? After all these years? My word, how astonishing, Miss...
Anna Eberling. And if you're really Thomas Eberling, then I'm your great-great-great-granddaughter. Where do you think I should use this? I'm so curious to see what it does. Bulky goggles with a mazer attached. Bulky goggles with a mazer attached. Don't see what that'll do. Bulky goggles with a mazer attached. What is a risk atlas, anyway?
It's a device capable of measuring causality in 3 temporal dimensions. It reveals the clockwork of the universe.
Translation, please. What does a risk atlas do?
It shows you how likely it is that something is going to happen.
Could this risk atlas help me find my father? He's been missing for 10 years.
10 years, you say? I wonder...
You wonder what, Thomas?
Nothing, child. We needn't assume anything just yet. Try the book. It may reveal where your father last went, but be certain to take Darwin with you. He has been my constant companion in the use of the Risk Atlas.
What kind of things are going to happen?
The more causally significant, the more it is revealed.
Causally significant? You mean bad things?
Not necessarily.
Take Darwin with me. Where am I going?
Wherever the book takes you.
The book is blank.
Only to those who don't know how to look.
How are we communicating?
That's an excellent question. Darwin's topaz crystal maser has been tuned to the same frequency as my tantalite crystal, but there would have to be an immense electrical power source.
Something like a thunderstorm?
That could do it. The negative ions could be forming some sort of quantum field.
How is this conversation possible? You must be 195 years old.
Technically, I am 215. It's 2033. If my math is correct, you are in the year 20. 150 years since I constructed the first Risk Atlas.
How can you be in the future?
My son, Edgar, he brought me here, then took my Risk Atlas so I would have no way back.
Where is here?
I'm in an asylum outside Zurich.
Should I come and get you out?
It's no use. I'm not there in 2019, and even if it were, you don't sound old enough to do anything about it, Miss Anna Eberling.
16 is plenty old enough. Perils of Man. Why a book of blank pages? I see words! Fire at the Aladon Theatre, London, 1873. Assessment of damage done by fire and by smoke. What is this? Electromagnetism exhibit goes awry. Hundreds die.
Excellent knot, Thomas!
This must be the theater I saw in the book. The Aladon. Wait. Does that also mean I'm in the year 1873?
Temporal transposition, knot, Thomas!
I don't know what that means, but it definitely doesn't sound good. It looks like the electromagnetism exhibit the book mentions. That means this place is going to burn down tonight. My father must be somewhere in this theater, but why, Darwin? Ugh!
Anna, are you there, child?
I'm not that tall. The fumes from that barrel are intense, like oil. And oil is highly flammable. Got it. Cute little drum. It's full of some colorless liquid. It smells like candles. It's paraffin. smells like it leads to the sewers. It's not big enough for me to escape through. It's a little prize bar. Okay, I got to remember not to smash everything. An oak barrel with a lid. It's too heavy to move. Yeah, I should be able to get the lid off. Problem solved. There's no other way out of here. It's too full of water to move. A drum from some old musical production. The drum's watertight. This is working. Empty. I can move it now if I want. Maxwell Influence Machine. This looks like the world's largest mousetrap.
Actually, it's the world's smallest sauna.
Apparently this crank shouldn't be locked. I don't know why yet. Apparently this crank shouldn't be locked. I don't know why yet. Beautiful gadget. Wish I had time to examine it. But if I don't get going, everyone here dies, including me. I don't have time to inspect it. Ooh, electric eel! I hope you turn the tables on that guy on stage. Electric phrenology apparatus. I really want to know what that monkey does when they turn it on. On second thought, no, I don't. I really don't. I think it shows the escape velocity from Earth. It's a prop door, but it works. Okay, I've separated the door from the flat. It was loose anyway. It would have fallen off in the middle of someone's dramatic exit. There's a sign on the door. Back in 30 minutes. Apparently this crank shouldn't be locked. I don't know why yet. There's a crank marked Skylight, and it's got a padlocked metal bar over it. More bad news. The snow is piling up. It's blocking the doors. And those carriages are all crowding around the theatre entrance. They'd be overrun with people in no time. Officer, we're in danger.
Where are you from?
Sir? Officer? Why are the carriages so close to the doors?
The drivers make more tips when their patrons don't have to wait in the snow. I'd get it sorted, but I can't be outside in this weather, not dressed as I am.
The demonstration is unsafe. Electricity is flying everywhere.
Ah, I'm sure your little bird friend will protect you. Don't you worry.
Snow is blocking the exits. People will be crushed trying to get out.
Oh, no. She won't listen to the likes of me.
You can't order her to do it?
Talk to the charwoman. It's her job to clear the snow.
We have to move those carriages away from the exits. What if there's a fire?
But I don't have me cold weather gear tonight. It's a fair point, miss.
Have you seen a man here wearing dark glasses?
I believe I have. Elegant chap. Don't know where he went. Friend of yours?
Relatively speaking. I'm an actress. I live on stage.
Maybe you shouldn't be out here where the public can see you. Ruins the mystery.
I'm Swiss. Grüezi.
There's no help for that, miss. Go on then, back to the Alps with you. I'm here strictly to see the dignitaries safely to their carriages.
The future?
You science enthusiasts say the oddest things. Time travelers, you say? Ha! There's a proper turn of phrase.
You mean there have been other time travelers here? Is there any way to end the show early?
Not a chance, Pete, but I know just how you feel. I was a looker in me prime too. How the lads lined up just to walk me home after work.
Have you seen a tall man here wearing dark spectacles? He might have been dressed a bit oddly, like me.
I can't say as I have, dearie. I've a sharp eye for the odd customer.
If there's a fire, people will be trapped by those doors.
Well, them's the risks, ain't there? If it's not fire, it's famine or a tempest, innit?
Why did you let it pile up?
Manager says, wait for further orders. I waits for further orders. You won't catch me fishing for extra chores.
What do you need to make you clear that snow?
Orders from management. Who else?
Management?
The Lord Muck himself, sitting pretty as you like in his fancy backstage office.
From a production of Hamlet? Or is something more sinister going on here? I'm worried about that monkey. He shouldn't be locked in a machine.
Well, that's Darwinism, isn't it? He should have evolved if he wanted to be in charge.
That is a complete misrepresentation of the theory of evolution.
I expect you're a very popular little lady talking like that, particularly amongst the lads. If it makes you feel any better, you can give him this banana.
I'm an actress.
I thought as much. It explains why you're running around in your undergarments and your scandalous hair.
These aren't undergarments, they're pants.
Pants? Go tell it to Clark Circus. I heard they were hiring clowns.
I'm an animal trainer. Look at my remarkable bird.
No. My last puppet show was a complete flop. Modern audiences want spectacle.
I'm from the future. I come to you with a terrible warning.
I'm afraid you've made a mistake. Auditions for the play are tomorrow.
No, I really am from the future. We have space stations and the internet and a cure for polio.
Very convincing, but I don't even make the casting decisions.
The lobby doors are blocked. Order someone to clear the snow.
Why, you impertinent snipe! I'll thank you to leave these premises at once.
There's going to be a fire. Please. You must end the show and evacuate the theater.
Ha! And refund everyone's tickets? I think not.
It's not safe to lock your skylights.
I see. Is this the considered policy of the theatre you manage?
But I don't manage a theater.
Precisely. So as we theatre managers say, adieu and anon.
This exhibition is dangerous. Bare electricity is flying everywhere.
Ridiculous, my dear. You display all the scientific understanding of a scullery maid.
Is the monkey operating the machine or the machine operating the monkey? An unexpected snack. Done. I'll take these and give him a chance to escape. Done. Have you seen an unusual man in the theater? He might be dressed in strange clothes like me.
You're certainly the strangest person I've seen tonight.
Has there been anyone else backstage at all?
I've got to go back on stage. Perhaps you might inquire with the manager.
Wait, I don't want to scare people with my crazy 21st century fashion. You need to end the show now. The theater has to be evacuated.
Twaddle! I intend to give this audience everything they've come for.
They didn't come to see the place burn to the ground.
Nor did you, I presume.
These electromagnetic demonstrations are a fire hazard.
Oh, I see. And from whence do you derive your expertise? Those toy goggles you wear around your neck?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Children!
Is it legal to rob graves for science?
What effrontery! You dare to question the integrity of Royal Society?
Well, their motto is nothing upon another's word.
Well, these demonstrations are for the benefit of the public. But you, my little snippet, are most certainly not my public.
Electricity can't restore life.
That's not for you to say, little lady. Science is a man's domain.
Now, I know there were lady scientists, even back then, back now.
You're talking nonsense. Typical woman.
What would the Royal Society think of your demonstration?
Most of this audience is the Royal Society. What would your mother say about an unescorted young lady attending the theater?
Don't change the subject.
The only subject I recognize is the audience. Goodbye.
Sir, there's trouble in your theater.
Can't you see I'm busy?
It's always wise to have an umbrella in London. Sir, there's trouble in your theatre.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Sorry, mister. It's for the good of your theatre.
Oh, my trousers! My beautiful tailored trousers! If the missus smells liquor on me again, I've got to get this cleaned. Wardrobe!
It doesn't look like it fits him. That's a pen and paper. That's just what I need. I'll order that charwoman to clear off all the snow blocking the entrance. That's a stamp of his signature. It's probably for Hamlet. Or... I know this place is going to catch fire. Maybe I can get the smoke and fire out through the skylights? These furnaces are old and falling apart. We have got a major problem. There's a split in the gas pipe way up out of reach. It moves coal from the chute to the furnace. I know all about coal chutes now. That releases coal from the dune. The pump seems to work, but the intake pipe is rusted out. This place must have flooded recently.
Well observed, Nat Thomas. There's even a ring of mold around the walls.
These cisterns hold water, probably to put out fires. Blank stationery used by the manager. This orders that maintenance lady to shovel snow from the doors and surrender all keys to me. Hey, Lobby Bobby. Compliments of the management.
No, much obliged.
He said it was time to move those carriages from the doors.
He's got a fair point. Right, you lot, clear out! None of your grumbling. You know the law.
Here, orders from the manager.
Well, there's a real man for ya. Orders me out in the wind and snow whilst he sits smacking his lips in a cosy office. That's his stamp, all right. Here, take me keys and don't go losing them. One of the actresses locked herself in a dressing room again, I expect. I'll tend to the snow, and who'll tend me aching back, I wonder. And me a war widow.
Keys to the theater. The power is mine. That takes care of the smoke. Time to snuff out the furnace. It makes a perfect ramp. It's a longer drop than it looks. Who knows what's beneath the surface? This wheel opens the gate, but it hasn't been used in a while. Perfect! I know all about coal chutes now. Let's flood the room. That'll put the boilers out for good. There's a queue, go!
Wasn't it fun, child? Oh, I so hope you enjoyed it.
Enjoyed what? Almost getting killed?
You've altered destiny, my darling. Pretty dope, as I do believe they say in your era. But this was only a taste. If you learn well, you will experience the power to compass any future to an absolute certainty.
I don't understand any of this.
No matter. For the time being, you only really need to understand one thing. How to get back.
Father, what are you doing?
Showing you what it means to master destiny. I wrote the book, and in the book, this theater burns down.
A mirror is always backward. A mirror is always backward. A mirror is always backward. A mirror is always backward.
Show me, Darwin. Find a mirror.
Behind the trousers. Risk Atlas.
The what?
Risk Atlas.
You were right, Darwin. A mirror is always backward.
Anna! Anna, is that you down there?
Darwin, we need to hide. If she finds us down here, she'll go crazy. Okay, more crazy.
Max, what is this place? Max, if it's you down there, please say something.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. We're trapped up here.
Darwin and this lock are old friends.
Max! Anna?
Anna, are you there?
Shh! Now's not the time. Thomas? Are you there? It's okay to talk now.
Anna, are you safe?
Yes, I'm back at the lab. I stopped the theater fire, but then my father started it again.
I fear the worst, Anna. It sounds like he's using Edgar's Risk Atlas.
Is Edgar's Risk Atlas dangerous?
It allowed Edgar to see too far into time, and that changed him deeply. He became untethered to the people and the places he once cared for.
Untethered? Do you think that's already happened to my father?
Not yet. Your father is still talking to you. But Edgar abandoned me to this asylum, knowing that I dreaded each day for fear he was out there somewhere, orchestrating some terrible event merely to torment me.
I can't believe your own son would do that.
I blame myself for what he became. I only wanted all the Elsies of the world to be safe from harm. But I understood the destructive power of my invention too late.
Who is Elsie, Thomas?
Why, my daughter, of course.
I didn't know you had a daughter. Was she good at science like the Abeling men?
Potentially better. She had... Anna, I'm fading again. But I want so much to see you in person. I think it might be possible.
Anna, first, it's imperative that you find a Tantalite.
A Tantalite what? I've lost him.
Hello, Nut Thomas.
Darwin! How many others are traveling through time?
Darwin doesn't know. He was just resumed to life today.
Yes, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm getting a little resumed too. Why did my father want to burn the place down?
Perhaps to impress upon her the complexity of risk.
Well, she's impressed. and not just with the complexity of risk. What happened? Did the theater really burn down, or was that a nightmare?
If it was in the book, it really happened.
What's in the center of the room?
Darwin doesn't know. It used to be the Azimuth projector.
What are these pipes on the walls?
Not pipes, projectors.
Azimuth projectors?
Ambro-type projectors.
Nice going, Thomas. I'm officially confused. What about this room?
This is the Azimuth projection room. Unless it's not.
No riddles, Darwin. Tell me the truth.
Thomas says truth is for philosophers. Scientists only want facts.
Where should I look for it?
That was 100 and many Aberlings ago.
Is it a crystal?
Topaz, onyx, topaz, amethyst. Darwin has no idea.
Do you know what a tantalite is?
Tantalite is...
Wasn't there something about it in Edgar's lab notes?
Find a tantalite.
The symbols match the ones on the ceiling. It controls something, but what? I think it controls whatever's in the center of this room. The slide projector has a drawing of a bird on it. Not quite like you, Darwin.
Thomas had several pet birds before constructing me.
It's a hemisphere of polished metal. Doesn't seem to be any way to open it. This chair is the one thing I'm sure I know how to use. A whole bunch of big glass slides.
The correct term is ambrotypes.
Thank you, Darwin. I appreciate you trying to help me develop a 19th century vocabulary. Each one has a different color and pattern. Tales of Misadventure. This slide projector has the image of a book on it. There are plenty of books around. Is it one in particular? Could be a children's book with blue stripes. Does the book on this projector mean anything?
Darwin never saw this book. In real life.
Suspicious answer. You know something. The Art of Ambrose Cavendish. There's a still life painting on the cover. Bright colors. This style looks familiar. And there's a bookmark. The Art of Ambrose Cavendish. There's a still life painting on the cover. Bright colors. This style looks familiar. And there's a bookmark. Tales of Misadventure. Mishap encyclopedias. Journals of Industrial Accidents. Mishap encyclopedias. Won't fit. Tales of misadventure. Don't see what that'll do. The Art of Ambrose Cavendish. There's a still life painting on the cover. Bright colors. This style looks familiar. That doesn't make sense. Gazettes of Calamity. Catalogues of freak accidents. Catalogues of freak accidents. Books about natural disasters. Mishap encyclopedias. Each one has a different color and pattern. The Art of Ambrose Cavendish. There's a still life painting on the cover. Bright colors. This style looks familiar. And there's a bookmark. Illogical. My great ×3 grandfather. Something's odd about that painting. Purple checked coat, blue striped bird. I don't think so. Green book with circles, red rose. Strange details. I think it controls whatever's in the center of this room. My great ×3 grandfather. Something's odd about that painting. Purple checked coat, blue striped bird. I don't think so. Green book with circles, red rose. Strange details. What kind of bird is that, Darwin?
It appears to be a finch, though finches are not blue.
Makes sense. A bird could have blue stripes. This projector has a flower on the front. Not many flowers at Villa Eberling today. A red rose. Logical. projector. I've seen a green book like that somewhere. It's a slide projector with a drawing of a man's coat. It looks vintage. I guess it must be. It's from Thomas's time. A purple checked coat. I've seen that recently. I have to find out what this is. I think it controls whatever's in the center of this room. I think it controls whatever's in the center of this room. I think it controls whatever's in the center of this room. I think it controls whatever's in the center of this room. I have to find out what this is. It looks like a perfectly ordinary lead box. Minimal risk. This must be the lead box that Edgar's research note mentions. An oversized mazer inside. Way too big for a risk atlas. It's got a slot like the one on the risk atlas. There's a compartment at the base. I see lots of dusty old notebooks, some old machine parts, and something more useful. A new risk atlas.
So, that's where that Mark III went.
This chair is the one thing I'm sure I know how to use. It's got a slot like the one on the risk atlas. What's this? A movie? You must be Elsie. Look at that, Darwin. She was far more of a risk taker than I am. Oh no! The sinking of the SS Tarunga Maru off the Strait of Malacca, 1918. Tramp steamer bound for Singapore. All hands lost.
Do you mean to disobey my orders?
No, sir. It's just that we're bearing directly into a squall, sir. And a hair raiser from the looks of it. Most of our crew is sick with something, and you don't look so well yourself.
Those lubbers will come through all right. Never you mind about that. As for me, I could pilot this ship with half my wits. We've got to cut through that storm to avoid the German warships patrolling the straits.
What warships? We've received no reports that I'm aware of. These evasive maneuvers are wasting fuel, and with so many sick, a direct course for Singapore may be our only chance.
15 ships lost this month.
All in the East China Sea, sir. None this far south.
Otto's out there, sure as I'm the captain of this vessel. South by southeast, Unger, and look sharp, or it's the brig, and no bones about it.
All right, sir. South by southwest it is.
The ship is turning. Who authorized this, Unger? Who are you?
I'm Anna Eberling.
Eberling? Are you a German spy?
No, I'm Swiss.
A Swiss spy? Did you sabotage the radio?
I just got here.
Not Thomas. That is... She most definitely.
No, I did not.
Enough of this. Unger, take the spy to the brig. And her claptrap bird, too.
Okay, I am going to take a moment to panic inside and freak out.
Understood.
Done. Let's escape. Interesting. What's the risk up there? Ah, see there? The center section is rusted out. A network of solid pipes. Based on the markings, it's used to hold canned food. There's nothing inside I can use. I can reach it. It's too small for me, but Darwin could get through. Can you get through the porthole, Darwin?
No, not Thomas. She's old and extremely uncooperative.
This is perfect leverage. Got it. Darwin, fly back into the ship somewhere and pick the lock on this door. Let's hope the lock isn't British.
But the lightning is looking for Darwin.
Do the best you can. Wait for a break in the storm.
American lock. Very friendly.
Ha! Appears to be a boiler. Probably the hot water supply for the crew. Acceptable amount of risk. Didn't expect that. The tanks are reasonably safe. Looks like a serious risk. Nothing that I understand.
Is it wise to announce yourself to the captain?
You're right, Darwin. Let's play it safe. Empty cabins, nothing of use. Nice one, Dad. I was expecting smuggled arms or 1,000 tons of dynamite. Not donkeys. Big cute ears. Big bad stench. Donkeys weren't the cargo I was expecting. Maybe they've all eaten dynamite. Thank Thomas you don't smell, Darwin.
Darwin is happy to let not Thomas smell for both of us.
German gunship, strangers, saboteurs, and now a spy on board!
Captain's coming. Hide behind that hay bale. Go.
Search the hold, sailor. We have a spy on the loose. Escaped from the brig.
She's right there, Captain. This spy. I couldn't leave my post, so I was keeping her here for you.
Good work. Take Miss Mata Hari here back to the brig and lock it tight.
Well, that didn't go so well, did it?
At the risk of sounding blunt, no, it did not.
There's nothing inside I can use. Whoa, that small bottle is trouble.
Careful, not Thomas. It's probably a poison or a corrosive.
A corrosive, huh? There's a shelf behind those boxes. Let's see what we've got to work with.
Caution, not Thomas.
What? What's wrong? I think it's hydro... Oh, I see, it's an acid. Darwin, stay back. I don't want to spill any on you. Really hope we don't get hit by a wave. Okay, hold my breath. Wow, that was amazing. You'd make a great burglar, Darwin. Did Thomas teach you that?
Thomas taught Darwin everything, not Thomas.
Interesting. That single donkey over there isn't a risk, but this large group of donkeys is. Does that mean donkeys are dangerous in gangs? Seawater could pour right into these portholes, especially with that storm coming. Any sailor worth his salt would know to close those. Don't think I'll be taking this one home to meet Mother.
Hey, you a stowaway? 'Cause Captain don't like stowaways.
The captain doesn't seem to like much of anything.
Captain's sick. Everyone's sick on this ship. Except me. Sent me down here with these stinking beasts as punishment. But now I'm the one who's got the better of it.
Good evening, or possibly good morning. What did you do to get sent below deck?
I was the third assistant engineer. I fell asleep on watch.
You should think of a better story to impress the ladies.
Well, get back to me when you're a full-grown lady. And I've had a few.
Okay, then. How long have you been sailing?
4 years on the Exeter out of Shanghai. All peaches compared to this infernal tramp. Signed on to this particular doomsday voyage not more than 2 weeks ago.
Where are you from?
I don't talk about my old life except with my friends. And my friends play checkers.
I can't play a game of checkers with this ship about to sink.
Suit yourself.
Does the captain come down here often?
Hardly ever. He used to play checkers with me. Then he started talking to the donkeys. Now he's took to drinking and steering us to our graves.
Maybe someone else should assume command.
Crew'd be with him if someone's got belly enough to try. But with Captain mad as a March hare and locking people up left and right. Say, better not let him catch you. No chance to swim for it if you're locked up.
What's wrong with the captain? It's more than just a fever, isn't it?
But with all that hooch in his gullet, used to be a Navy officer. A regular spit and shine type.
You mean alcohol?
Alcohol. That's a pretty word for it.
Why are all the donkeys huddled on one side?
They were getting wet on the other side.
But it's not any drier on this side.
You might want to tell them that. Maybe they'll listen to reason.
What do you usually use to coax donkeys?
Donkeys can't resist the sweet stuff. But I ran out of all my treats. And I ain't leaving the hold with all them sick topsiders.
How about dispersing those donkeys more evenly? They're making the whole ship lean over.
Storm's got 'em all spooked. They ain't gonna budge. Not without some coaxing.
Why do you report me to the captain?
Don't take it personal. Captain catches you stowed away, you get the brig. He catches me lying, I get the lash. You didn't get the brig?
Me? I'm just a kid. Have you seen anyone strange on board? Besides me?
Nobody down here but me and these beasts. Can't say about topside.
Water is coming in the portholes.
So?
One big wave and it'll drown you and the donkeys and sink the ship.
Let's talk about it over a game of checkers.
I can close the portholes if you show me how.
If you close them, I'd die from the smell. Either way, I lose.
So the only thing keeping you from closing the portholes is the smell?
I ain't gonna go down in this ship with that stench on my dying breath.
Maybe I can think of something. Where's the ship supposed to be going?
Weren't more than 100 nautical miles from the port of Singapore when Captain went and conned the ship into the thick for no reason. Set a course straight down Disaster's throat. Doomed us all. Sure seeing. Now then, how about a game of checkers?
No thanks, I've got, a ship to save. Open porthole. A little bit of home. It's empty. Most of the crew is here. He can barely move.
Don't come too close, young lady. These men are all sick.
Everyone needs to be on the alert. This is germ warfare. The ship is infested with spies.
The captain's coming. Hide under the stairs.
Dr. Doctor, I'm ordering all the ship's crew to keep their eyes open for spies.
Spies? But this is a cargo ship.
I warned you they were coming. I locked one in the brig, and she escaped once already.
She?
Disguised as a boy, wearing a red cloak. Looks like her hair was cut by wolves.
I've seen no one disguised as a boy.
And how do I know you're not a spy, too?
With all these men sick, I wouldn't have the time.
Well, stay vigilant. And get these sailors back on their feet. I need to man battle stations. Attack is imminent.
He is steering this ship into a storm. He thinks we're being pursued by German warships.
There haven't been any German warships in the South China Sea for 2 years.
This is worse than I thought.
If only I could relieve him of his duties.
Mutiny?
Oh, no. They hang men for that. I can't imagine what they do to a woman, but if I could prove scientifically that the captain is unfit for duty, he could be relieved of his command. Unfortunately, I need to attend to these men.
What do you need to prove him unfit, theoretically?
Theoretically, I need at least 2 things. 1, written evidence of a change in the captain's mental state. We must prove this is not his normal style of command. 2, a blood sample. I can study it and see if it proves the captain is too sick to exercise proper judgment.
You need evidence in writing and a blood sample to remove the captain?
That's right. I can't leave my patients.
What is it with this captain? Is he crazy or something?
It's likely he also has this influenza. The fever can cause delusions. He should relinquish command until he recovers, but he refuses to even discuss it.
Who brought it aboard?
I examined everyone before the voyage began, and they all had a clean bill of health.
Are there any medicines that can help?
There might be something to ease their symptoms on board, but all the medicines are locked away at the moment.
Why are the medicines locked up?
The captain requisitioned the storage room to use as a brig for anyone who dares to speak against him. The medicines are there.
If I get you your medicines, will you help me relieve the captain of his duties?
To the extent of the law.
Aren't you wondering who I am?
I don't have time to wonder. You seem to be the least of our troubles.
Aren't women doctors unusual in 1980 these days?
Women weren't even permitted to practice medicine in Japan until 1912. Now we have our own school in Tokyo.
How did you get to be the ship's doctor? As a woman, I mean.
When the captain wired my hospital requesting a medical officer, he simply assumed female physicians didn't exist. When he found out he was wrong, it was too late to get a replacement.
What's your lifeboat situation?
The captain cut them all loose this morning. He claimed German spies were hiding in them.
You should make preparations to abandon ship. The ship is headed into a storm and we're almost out of fuel. The portals in the cargo hold are wide open.
That's distressing news. But until I hear the order, I've got to help the sick.
A stack of gauze masks. I need one in case I get close to someone sick. I wish I knew how to help these guys.
Germ warfare. German warships. Eyes in the back of my...
Nothing useful about it.
Strangers like a ghost, here and not here.
Strange. Why is that dangerous? With communications out, there's no way to get weather warnings or to call for help. Uh-oh. The ship's dangerously low on fuel. On our present course, we're going to be stranded in the middle of nowhere. Interesting. This new mesa shows the risk of people, too. And the captain is a risk. He doesn't seem to be in possession of all his faculties. Interesting. This new mesa shows the risk of people, too.
Straits are a minefield. They'll never follow.
Nothing useful about it. The captain's awfully concerned about that thing. Darwin, what is that?
The nautical term is binnacle. It holds the ship's compass.
I see a little glass bottle and metal jars set to trap anyone reaching inside. Now, if I hold the jars, reverse the pin inside, and move the spring here, I've reversed the trigger for the booby trap. Let's hope this works.
Got a Swiss accent. A Swiss female accent. Never been sick a day in my life. Jump out! That stranger warned me. Spies! It's worse than I thought. I'll lock them all up. Nowhere safe. One by traitorous one, if I have to. Don't let her near it, is all I have to say. Can't trust a soul. Can't keep them safe.
He'll just throw me in the brig. Actually, that can help me. Hey! Hey, Captain Crackers! Here I am! Free as a bird!
What is happening, Unger? The spy. The sniveling Swiss female spy! Arrest her! And Unger, this time, the little scruff stays arrested.
Pills. Lots of pills. The captain got chomped by his own trap. We've got our blood sample. From the infirmary, she had plenty to spare. The labels are Japanese. Nothing to do now but wait for Darwin.
He seems very focused. Darwin should not interrupt him without a specific favor to ask. He seems very focused. Darwin should not interrupt him without a specific favor to ask. Darwin can only carry a few stems.
You little rust bucket. It's for the donkeys.
Darwin can only carry a few stems. Darwin can only carry a few stems.
You little rust bucket.
He seems very focused. Darwin should not interrupt him without a specific favor to ask.
well if it isn't our little feathered friend.
Begging your pardon, is Mr. Unger addressing Darwin?
Yes, Mr. Unger is, if Darwin's your name. And I'm afraid you'll have no luck this time.
No luck?
No one gets in and no one gets out. Not as long as I'm standing here.
But the captain is calling for Mr. Unger on the deck.
Nice try for a bag of bolts, but the captain gave me strict orders. I'll be in the brig myself if that Swiss spy gets out again.
This might sound forward, but isn't guard duty a demotion for a first mate?
Save it, whirligig. The captain put me here only because the crew is sick.
Perhaps Mr. Unger will be sick soon also.
Oh, no you don't. It's just the hay for the donkeys. I'm allergic to hay.
First mate has become ill.
Achoo! No, you're wrong, Rattlegears.
Sick?
No.
The crew quarters are abandoned. Apologies, good sir. Darwin sees he is busy with important ship's business.
Who? Me? What's it to you?
It's nothing to Darwin, he assures him. It's just that he wanted to ask him a favor.
You talk funny, even for a gadget.
Thank you, good sir. As does the good sir. Even for a human.
So what is this favor you're asking?
He was hoping the good sir would kindly place some hay in the corridor. Mr. Unger would be highly appreciative.
I might, but on one condition.
And what would that be?
I'm tired of playing checkers by myself.
Darwin's move, humble apologies, but the good sir did ask.
How much hay do you want?
Doctor? Sato, the hay has made Mr. Unger unwell.
Mr. Unger?
Oh, no. I'm not sick. It's that bird, that confounded contraption. Achoo! Achoo!
Sneezing?
He's going to pick the lock. He's going to set her free.
And coughing? You're relieved of duty, Mr. Unger. Report downstairs immediately for an examination.
But...
Doctor's orders.
Now is Darwin's chance.
You are the cleverest bird I have ever known.
Compliment accepted.
I brought you the medicine.
Perfect. Oh, no.
What?
They can't help the men at this point. The pills are placebos.
Hey, I got you a mask for the smell.
Ain't you a sweetheart? I won't smell those dirty asses no more.
Now do me a favor. Close those portals.
Only 'cause you asked so pretty.
Here, sweet treats for your donkey. The donkey group made a mess of that area. It's almost like the donkeys were guarding something. Hey, I got you a mask for the smell.
Ain't you a sweetheart? I won't smell those dirty asses no more.
Now do me a favor. Close those portals.
Only 'cause you asked so pretty.
There's something hidden in the hay. It's a book. A logbook. The captain's logbook. It shows he was healthy at the start of the voyage. You can watch him descend into madness.
Ghost spies sent to drive my crew insane. I should burn this, I know. But I'll recover my senses, and I'll want a record of my tribulations.
Evidence that the captain went mad.
Thank you. This is important.
I got a blood sample.
Yes, I see. Well done.
Does the blood sample prove he's sick?
Yes. And with the logbook you found, we have enough evidence.
Unger! Unger, listen to me! You and that fool doctor are traitors! You're dead! Do you hear me? Dead! Even if you survive the German attack, you'll both hang for this! Unger!
I've got to change course for Singapore right away. Oh!
Congratulations, Anna. You're a genuine talent. All you have to do now is turn the ship and you're home free. Are you sure you want to do that, Anna?
Must have held the logbook. Why wouldn't I be sure?
Many lives depend on the decision you make.
Full speed! North by northeast!
You haven't done your homework.
How can you stand by and watch people die?
Over the next 2 years, more than 50 million people are going to die from the Spanish flu pandemic. And this ship is infested with it.
Did you infect them?
I understand. You're still upset about the theater. Upset enough to think me capable of such an act.
Will sinking this ship stop the flu?
It will stop it in Singapore in this winter, during this war. That's already a great accomplishment.
Can we bring back a cure from the future?
The 1918 strain has no vaccine.
We're scientists! We have a lab!
We'd need 1,000 years and 1,000 lives to rid the world of every risk.
How do you know, Father?
Your risk atlas is a toy next to mine. I could see it all. Deep into the past and far into the future. It's a tremendous responsibility and perhaps a terrible, terrible burden. Very special people can live with this.
What was that?
Let's call it another lesson in saving lives using the risk atlas.
Saving lives?
Choosing who lives and who dies is not so simple as you suppose, my child. Sometimes, to save thousands of lives, one must sacrifice a small few.
Is that smoke? You sabotaged this ship?
This is a plague ship. If it reaches port in Singapore, 43,218 people will die who otherwise wouldn't. That's 43,218 lives at the single turn of a wheel. So you see, I have... You have the moral responsibility to stop it.
You're really scaring me now, Father. Can't we just go back home and stop all this nonsense about the Risk Atlas?
There is no hope for the likes of us, Anna.
Is this really happening?
You're finally starting to understand the implications, child.
Why is the future our responsibility? Thomas told me about Edgar. The power of the Risk Atlas changed him. I'm worried the same thing is happening to you.
You've been talking to Thomas somehow, but you don't understand. I'm afraid Thomas never recovered from the loss of his daughter. He's no longer in possession of his proper faculties. His own son had to send him away.
That can't be true.
I'm sorry, Anna, but it's time you knew the family's secrets. He's quite hopeless. Like this ship.
But what about the people who aren't sick?
You will get sick trying to rescue them.
What about all those donkeys?
Anna, you're stalling now.
The doctor. Can we at least take her?
She's sick too. In 3 days.
There must be another way.
There is no other way for us. That is what I'm trying to teach you. I know this is hard for you, Anna, but I assure you, it's too late for heroics. Save yourself.
Darwin, remind me to get one of those. This is tragic, but there's nothing I can do. I need to find a mirror.
Abandoned ship!
Miss, you first.
No, take the sick. Help me move them. Put these on. Take the crates from the brig.
Oh, let him out, for God's sakes. The
And
hole's
I thought the storm at home was
the
scary.
portholes.
Warships! I told you!
Captain, this way.
I go down with my ship!
Anna, did someone see Anna? Anna!
Darwin, I need to talk to Thomas right now.
No, don't touch that. It took weeks to... Leave me alone.
Thomas?
Anna, I'm here.
My father sank a ship with everyone on board. I'm afraid the Risk Atlas drove him mad, just like Edgar.
Don't despair, Anna. Perhaps it's not too late to save your father. I think I've worked out a way to travel back to your time. But you will need to make a new mesa for Darwin using...
Where do I find Tantalite?
At the Queen's Castle, the King's Bishop 8. Quickly, before the storm passes. We have to use its energy with the crystals.
How can Darwin bring you here? Aren't you trapped in the future? In an asylum?
Tantalite crystals have extraordinary properties. In their pure form, I couldn't control their power. That's why I hid them from Edgar. But Darwin's topaz crystal will limit the danger.
How do I make a mesa?
Remove Darwin's mesa and break it.
Huh?
Make him a better one. Mix Darwin's topaz crystals with tantalite. Then put this mixture in a new mesa tube and plug it back in him. This should amplify his power by a factor of several hundred without emitting harmful levels of gamma radiation.
Can Darwin take that kind of power?
It is a risk.
How big a risk?
You would need Edgar's atlas to say for certain, but not all risks are to be avoided, Anna. Some risks need to be taken. If you want me there. Your father, this is one risk you'll have to take.
Okay, I'll make a new mesa for Darwin.
And I shall prepare for travel.
Meet back here. Did you get all that?
Remove Darwin's maser. Mix crystals with tantalite. Insert new maser.
Let's go down to the workshop. Darwin, my real name is Anna. I just wanted you to know in case you... Well, I just wanted you to know.
Darwin knows not Thomas. Darwin has always known not Thomas's name.
But... Okay, I'm going to open your front panel and take out your maser. You'll be out for a few minutes while I mix your crystals with tantalite. When I put you back together, you'll be much more powerful than before. Not quite ready yet. Are you okay?
Darwin is always ready.
Do you trust me? Because I'm not so sure myself. My mother is more than a little batty, and my father might be, oh, I don't know, a homicidal maniac, maybe?
Not Thomas prevented 2 disasters. The technical term for this is... miracle.
I suppose that's true. Do you trust Thomas?
Thomas is right. Not Thomas knows.
Did you hear everything that Thomas said?
Break Darwin's maser.
I'm going to make you a maser that's hundreds of times more powerful. We don't know exactly what it'll do to you. Do I need to let you wind down before I open you?
Unnecessary.
If I take out your maser, will you forget me?
Darwin does not remember forgetting anything.
I see a purple velvet box with various crystals inside, and an empty maser. A spare glass maser. They power risk atlases, projectors, even Darwin. Maybe it'll work without your crystal, Darwin. He had such a funny way of walking. Freakishly long legs. That's all the tantalite we've got. I need to mix in Darwin's crystals. That's his old maser. I need to mix tantalite crystals with his, then make a new maser. That should do it.
Eberling, I presume.
I need to make him uncertain? Isn't being certain a good thing?
Not always. If every consequence were known in advance, there would be no such thing as risk. But without risk, some crucial part of our humanity is lost. We would all become like my automatons.
Darwin was more than an automaton.
I should not have phrased it like that. You've been through a lot together, haven't you?
What do we do when we find him?
Our only chance is to convince your father to remove his Risk Atlas.
What good will that do?
The Risk Atlas gives you certainty. If his Risk Atlas is as powerful as I suspect, he can see everything we do well in advance. But we want him to be uncertain, to start thinking like a human being again.
Maybe I shouldn't waste my time with him. I did fine without him all these years.
Hear him out, and then decide.
If my father has gone the same way as Edgar, it's too late to help him.
Perhaps, perhaps not. He's done all of this to establish some kind of relationship with you.
It doesn't feel like that.
If there is any emotional connection with his past remaining, it will be with you. Use this to your advantage.
Couldn't we go back in time and save Elsie?
I tried once. Edgar stopped me.
Edgar? Why would he do that?
Every change has consequences. Edgar must have seen something he didn't like. You, perhaps.
Me?
It's very possible that if Elsie doesn't fall off that glacier, you will never exist.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand what you mean by consequences. Why would Edgar be so angry with you?
Perhaps he was right to be. After we lost Elsie, I fear I rejected him. I became obsessed with my experiments.
Up until now, I never realized how lucky people are to let the past stay in the past.
That sounds like something Elsie would have said.
Is my father using the Risk Atlas to direct his own fate? He used the phrase, compass any future to an absolute certainty.
This goes back to Edgar. He felt that I blamed him for Elsie's death, and he was angry with me, so he used the Risk Atlas selfishly to spite me. Before I could perfect the Risk Atlas, Edgar began to experiment with it in secret. It began with gambling, but he soon realized that if he could anticipate the future, he could change the future too.
Why does using the Risk Atlas seem so risky? Didn't you invent it to eliminate risk?
I designed the Risk Atlas to see risk, not to eliminate it. What I didn't understand was that in the long run, avoiding all risk is in itself a risk. Perhaps the greatest risk of all.
If we survive this night, show me how Darwin works.
It would be my delight to teach you.
It's a shame. I'm going to miss Darwin.
Yes, but it's the risk you took. Now, you have me.
He was a friend. I don't have many.
Yes, it is most unfortunate. He was my friend as well.
Did I make the mesa wrong? Is this my fault?
No, Anna. Darwin was simply not built for this.
Will Darwin be okay?
I'm sorry, Anna. It was a risk we had to take.
How did you come through time?
My topaz crystal. It was tuned to Darwin's mesa. Luckily, they mistook it for jewelry at the asylum.
Are you really here?
Yes. I believe so.
I've seen your painting for years, but I must be a surprise to you.
You certainly have the mind of an aberling. Although I am a bit startled by your clothes.
Yeah, we discovered that bustles and corsets tend to get in the way of lab work.
No, I'd forgotten about jeans. They went out of style in the 2020s.
Okay, what do we do next?
You wait here. I need a moment to cobble together a second Risk Atlas. I can use the Mesa from Darwin. I'll need to concentrate by myself. Under no circumstances should you go anywhere until I'm finished.
Oh, bye. It's hard to believe in the progress of science when all I see are disasters. There's a note on the book from Father.
Anna, Thomas won't help you now. You're only putting a broken old man in harm's way. This has always been between us. Our future together is in this book. If you're up for the adventure, all you need to do is open it.
Really should see this, Anna. 3 years ago, this was nothing but swampland. And now, look at it. Can you imagine all of the human toil that could have been spared? If only they had known.
Known what?
That it was going to be destroyed by an airship crashing into George Ferris's wheel on the second day of the fair.
They're dead. I've never seen anyone dead before. The label says it's for disinfecting drinking water. It's no use trying to escape. Father, can't we leave all this death and destruction behind once and for all? It scares me.
Leave? Just leave tens of thousands of innocents to burn down there?
Take off the mask, please. You've worn those glasses your whole life. Just for once, let your daughter look into your eyes. You probably wouldn't like it. Why?
Because you'd see too much of yourself.
Tell me, does your Risk Atlas show who loves you and who hates you?
Always, Anna. It's riskier to love than it is to hate.
Doesn't that mean that people need risk?
Nonsense. People don't need risk any more than they need famine or pestilence.
Without risk, wouldn't we be just like machines?
You'd be right, Anna. Except for one important detail. My Risk Atlas doesn't compel me to avoid risk. It merely affords me the possibility of avoiding it.
I'm not sure I really understand what you're saying.
I've made some improvements on the original Risk Atlas. 3 masers in parallel. It means I can avert the smallest risk. Even the risk of aging can be predicted and avoided. I'm immortal, but I'm willing to die if you decide that I pose a threat that must be prevented.
But how can you die if you're immortal?
Very simply, my dear. Pull this lever and you lock the rudder in its present course. The airship will crash directly into the Ferris wheel. I will die willingly, but thousands of innocent people won't have that choice.
But I don't want you or anyone else to die. I just want you to come back home for me, your daughter.
Steer the ship away, and the disaster is averted. But I will keep on time walking, only with you, my daughter, as my protege.
I don't believe you. You're bluffing.
Understand this. Once that lever is pulled, it cannot be pushed back.
So far, you've undone every move I've made.
I will accept this fate, Anna, provided that you accept that you are the sole author of it.
You'd never go through with it, not while I'm on board.
This is about what you will do. Are you willing to take the biggest risk of your life?
So that's the bargain? I get to save the people below?
And I get a daughter to walk through time with me.
If I become a time walker like you, where would we live?
On the mountains of Mars, or the palace of Maharaja. Wherever we want.
Mars doesn't have air.
Not in this epoch.
That sounds more frightening than fun.
Of course you're frightened, but my Risk Atlas changes everything. All fear and doubt will become distant memories. No accident will befall you, because you will be the architect of everything that happens. It's not playing God. It's becoming the angel of your own destiny.
That sounds better. Wouldn't I give up on any chance of living a normal life?
Think about it, Anna. I'm offering you a life of absolute certainty. Want to stroll the decks of the Titanic moments before it becomes the stuff of legends? Want to witness the glory of Pompeii before it is lost to lava and ash? We can do it. We can do it, Anna. Because with my Risk Atlas, no harm can come to us.
You make it seem like the safest choice.
It is. All you need to do is decide to turn the airship.
First, I need to decide if I should trust you. You said your Risk Atlas. Would I ever get my own Risk Atlas?
Yes, of course. That's what this has been all about. What's it to be, my angel? Will you choose a life without risk?
I would like to see what the world looks like through your eyes. Oh my goodness, Father, these are miraculous. I can see...
Everything.
Everything, yes! The World Fair is on fire.
You see, Anna, nothing is the same.
Anna, give me your atlas.
Don't worry, I'll guide you. There's a loose bolt in that steel thing over there. And don't put any weight on those cables. They're completely rusted out.
What is it, Anna? What do you see?
Stay over there, Father. Don't come any closer. Thomas!
Anna, I came the very instant I realized you had gone. But why didn't you wait for me?
You think I didn't see you coming, old man?
Edgar? Can it be? But how?
Can someone please tell me what is happening here?
I'm so sorry, Anna. I had no idea. This man is my son, Edgar. He is not your father.
Is that true?
Listen to me, Anna. After your father disappeared, I watched over you. And I've come to love you as a father loves a daughter.
Watched over me? You've been haunting us like a ghost.
You wouldn't have understood before. You weren't ready.
Is this your idea of being a father? Putting Anna in danger at every turn?
She had to learn.
Learn what? To cheat destiny? To live life without a single surprise?
I don't understand, Edgar. Did you think I would never find out who you really were?
I hoped it wouldn't matter. I've been so alone, Anna. So terrifyingly alone. I've waited 150 years for someone like me.
I'm nothing like you.
Anna, whatever you do, don't give Edgar that Risk Atlas. This must end.
Come Come away with me, Anna. Right now. Remember all the things we said we would do together? Just bring the Atlas to me.
Do that, Anna, and you condemn the two of you to an endless, joyless life in the shadows.
You were right, Edgar. I can see who loves me, just as you said. What's wrong? Are you sick?
Can't function without the Risk Atlas, Anna. He is no longer capable of judging anything for himself.
I'm sorry, Edgar. It has to be this way.
No, no, no!
Hang on, Edgar.
We're coming! This is as close as I can get. You'll have to reach for it.
I know what you saw on the Risk Atlas. My fate.
Never mind what I saw. I'm not going to let you fall.
It's no good, Anna. I won't risk you suffering as I have.